What's up, co-reporters, and welcome back to my channel. Aoki Lee Simmons now is hopping on Instagram to claim that she and that boyfriend, elderly boyfriend, my God, my skin crawls at the idea of a 20-year-old girl calling a 65-year-old man, like a grandpa, her boyfriend. I want to vomit. She's saying, what boyfriend? I don't have a boyfriend, as if she wasn't on Instagram after those disgusting paparazzi photos featuring the two of them kissing on the beach, and him filming her, taking photos of her in her bikini with his like gut hanging over the side. Anyway, so after all those photos leaked, Aoki, she was like, let me be bold with this. Let me go on my Instagram and talk about how my boyfriend's driving me to the place. My boyfriend bought me this like purse, this bamboo purse or whatever.
My boyfriend is deeply obsessed with this little bag that he found, and he wanted this to be my beach bag. It's smaller than my head, okay? I fit in here. Please, a master, okay? What a...
Now all of a sudden she's like, boyfriend? What boyfriend? I don't know nothing about a boyfriend, do you? Listen, Aoki Lee Simmons, I think your daughter is unwell and you might need to go check in on her. Let's take a look at the video, then come back with a commentary a little bit later.
Don't call, just text me. Well, I'm talking to y'all. So, Lachey, I'm talking to y'all. So, I'll answer in a minute. If my mom calls me, I'll answer. I don't have a boyfriend. Check page. I don't read tabloids in general. I do love art. I love...
So there you go. She says on her Instagram all of a sudden that she doesn't have a boyfriend. But again, that is in direct opposition to all the stuff that she had been saying on her Instagram, this very same Instagram page that she's acting super like, what are you talking about? Surprised on. She was using it to film herself and her man in the car as she's pointing out animals on the side of the road and showing off the bamboo purse that he had bought her. Listen, I'm really stunned to see what is happening with Aoki Lee Simmons right now. But when you look at like her upbringing and stuff, you can kind of see like maybe it was bound to happen in some way or another. Like maybe not in such an extreme manner in like a 43-year age gap relationship, but let me explain. So her mother, Aoki Lee Simmons, in my opinion, was groomed by her father, Russell Simmons, right? Russell Simmons took an interest in Aoki when Aoki was in high school. And then they got married when she was like 18 years old. And this man was like, what, 35, 40 years old or something like that? Like that already is alarming enough. And this union created Aoki Lee and her sister Ming Lee as well. So to them, they're growing up seeing this age gap as normal. And then on top of that, they grew up in wealth and stuff like that, and like very opulent lifestyles where people, are much older, this, that, or the other. So like, maybe she feels like she's far ahead of other like men her age because of this lifestyle that she grew up and is accustomed to. Although I still feel like there are plenty of other Nepo babies well within her age range that she could be dating, you know what I mean? Versus someone who was 60 something years old. Like that to me is predatory and completely unacceptable. And and I feel like that is why this relationship ultimately, and I can't even call it a relationship, to be honest with you guys. I think that Aoki Lee was yachting or perhaps being a sugar baby or I hate to say it, but maybe she was escorting for a weekend. You know what I mean? And they didn't expect to be photographed like that. And so now they blew up her spot. They blew up this man's spot. People are like, Aoki, are you okay? Are you like going through something, a mental health crisis? Are you on drugs? Like a lot of people are asking these sorts of questions about her, myself included. To be honest with you guys, when I see her videos and how erotic she's acting in them and like how strange she's behaving, I'm wondering if she's going through a manic episode or something like that. A lot of people are saying it could be drugs. I personally don't see that being a thing for her, but I do feel like maybe something's going on mentally. Maybe it's all of the stress that she's been undergoing in regards to her relationship with her father. I believe that she and Ming were very close with their father, but their father decided to escape the country to hide out in Bali now that he is facing multiple SA charges. And, you know, it's been years that he's been living there now. And I think that that was very devastating for her. Aoki spoke out in the past, accusing her father of having his own mental health issues and that he would yell at her and insult her and cut her off financially and stuff. Videos have resurfaced of her threatening him that if he didn't, like, you know, increase her budget or whatever, aka her allowance, she would find a sugar daddy. Is this her rebelling? Is this her in pain from like the loss of her father or whatever? I don't know. I feel like it could very well could be, but that is for Aoki to unpack with herself or perhaps with a therapist in private. Now, when it comes to that man, people were talking about how disgusting you have to be as an old man. You're in your freaking 60s and you're going after a girl who just became legal to drink. You're disgusting, you're pathetic, and you're a loser, and you're a creep. You know what I mean? I feel like him being photographed with her completely ruined his reputation. Maybe he was behaving like this sort of a creep in private all this time, but when he got with a famous Nepo baby, what happens? People are there to photograph because they recognize this girl, and he wasn't expecting that. You know, maybe he thought this was like a no-name, like wannabe model that he had been, you know, with in the past. But with Aoki's name and Aoki trying to be a public figure herself on the internet and like that, she is a person of interest. And of course, people are going to photograph her. And it wasn't a good look at him for him at all to be seen out kissing up on this like young girl and taking pictures of her. He looked disgusting next to her. You know, he looks so freaking old and gross. Listen, I don't mind like an age gap. You know what I mean? So long as the people are of reasonable age, right? Like if someone is like, I don't know, 25 plus, and then they go for someone who's like 10, 12, 13 years older, whatever. But when someone just became legal to drink and just graduated college and you're on your way out, you're in your, you know, you're in your 60s, you've got potentially grandkids and stuff like that. You have lived 3 times the life that they have lived. It's disgusting and it's predatory. You know, she may technically be legal, but it's still very predatory in my opinion. And again, just thinking of those photos just disgusts me so much. And so I'm sure her mom chewed her out about it, said absolutely not, Aoki, like you can't do this. I know your dad and I had an age gap, but listen, even Kimura and Russell's age gap was much smaller. And again, I think that that is a more acceptable age gap. And it would have, but the problem is that Russell started looking at Kimura when she was in high school, meaning she was a minor, allegedly, right? So if Kimura herself was 25 and she got with someone who was like 38 or whatever, I would have been like, whatever. But it's just that when it started, you know, that makes it very, very creepy. And so I think that Kimura, now looking at that relationship in hindsight, she knows that the men who engage in this sort of thing are creeps. They've got a lot of problems that they will project and a lot of trauma that they will cause for the young girls that they prey on. And so I think that she pushed Aoki to disavow this relationship in public, you know? But again, was it even a relationship? I don't know. I am of the belief that Aoki might have been caught yachting. You know what I mean? Like popping that coochie for a vacation to St. Bart's or something like that. I don't know that this was ever going to be a long-term relationship because again, the gap is just too disturbing. Anyway, you guys, those are just my thoughts. It really upsets me, this story. It really does. Aoki is obviously going through something, and I hope that she takes the time to get off of social media to unpack and heal from whatever it is before she completely ruins her reputation. Aoki is a Harvard graduate. Like she was supposed to be setting herself up for this wonderful, in my opinion, academic, like white collar career. So I'm sad to see her going down this Nepo model route. You know what I mean? Like I was shocked when I saw recent photos and videos of her on Instagram and TikTok. It didn't look like the same person I saw 2-3 years ago, you know, like clearly she's going through a lot to try to make it in that modeling world. And maybe it's just not for her. Maybe it's time for her to put her degree to use and like go down that route. You know, I'm really shocked that this girl is what we're seeing now. To me, it's almost as shocking as if Yara Shahidi were pictured with a you know, geriatric man on the beach. Like, because again, Yara Shahidi, she's not a Nepo baby, but she is an actress who went to Harvard. And I see her as an intellectual and a more ambitious and more level-headed woman than that, you know? So if I were to see her young, beautiful self hugged up on an old, old, like, whoa, decrepit man, like I'd be like, girl, where are your parents? Like, get off of her, sir. Like, disgusting, you know? Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.